A lounge and Aqua Park, located on the Frigate Bay Strip. Development Bank, if you're a young entrepreneur looking and you have a good business idea, give Development Bank a try.
I'm Gertrude Wilkes, co-owner with my husband John Wilkes of Buddy's Beach Hut. Just want to give a big shout out to Development Bank for helping us during this time of pandemic.
My name is Troy Hendrickson, owner of Vibes Beach Bar. We'd just like to let everybody know how great a corporate citizen the Development Bank of St. Kitts Nevis has been with us, especially as we endure this COVID-19 period. Kudos to the Development Bank.
My name is Pauline. I'm the co-owner of Serendipity Restaurant in Falklands, Bastia. We're here to say a thank you to Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. They were the first financial institution that assisted us in our opening 17 years ago.
I'm Michael Clark, the owner of Jamrock Restaurant located in Frigate Bay. With the inception of COVID up to this time, again, they had reached out and stood up behind me. I can't explain it in words how grateful and thankful I am to Development Bank.
There is an entrepreneur in all of us. They are the risk takers, the record breakers, the difference makers. Entrepreneurs are the ones who fuel our economy. They fuel job growth. They fuel technology, making St. Kitts and Nevis a much better place. And we have been there every step of the way, providing small business and personal development loans tailored to your significant needs. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life.
Another edition of Working for You. I am Les Roy Williams. I thank you very much for joining us for our program today. Of course, your company is appreciated from week to week. Today we are going to be having a discussion on the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. The bank is celebrating its 40th year since it started in 1981. It's their 40th anniversary. And I do have with me officials from the Development Bank who would engage you in a lively discussion in terms of the purpose of the bank and some of the things that the bank has been doing in terms of the socio-economic development of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and also they will be discussing some of the activities for the 40th anniversary. I have in studio with me Jasmine Irish, who is the Operations Manager at Development Bank. Welcome, Miss Irish.
Thank you and good afternoon.
I have with me also Chantel Rochester, and Chantel is the Marketing and Product Development Officer. Welcome, Chantel.
Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon.
And I have from our sister isle in Nevis, she is the manager of the Nevis branch, Hyacinth Pemberton. Welcome, Hyacinth.
Thank you. Good afternoon and thanks for having me.
Right. Now, 40 years is a significant milestone. And while it is a significant milestone, the bank is still new. I mean, young, because, I mean, I'm older than it. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis was established by an Act of Parliament, number 1 of 1981, and the Act was further amended in April of 1983 by Parliament. The bank is wholly owned by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, but it is fully autonomous and operates independently with a board of directors, general manager, and a team of staff members, as I have here today. The bank falls under the direct responsibility of the Minister of Finance, who is the Prime Minister, with the bank's manager having direct responsibility for the day-to-day administration of the bank. So that is just a little history, but what is the mission statement of the bank?
Well, simply put, well, before I answer that question, let me thank you for having us on the Working for You program, and also thank you to our loyal customers. I want to thank you for your loyalty and patronage for over the 40 years. But our mission is simply to promote economic growth throughout the Federation with specific attention to the SMEs, that's the small and medium enterprises, agriculture of course, fishing, farming, the industry when it comes to manufacturing and commerce. Thank you. Commerce as it relates to trading and retail. That's it summarized. That's our mission.
Okay. You know, economic growth is really something of gross domestic product, and it has to do with money and so on, but the banks especially is a development bank. Yeah. So economic growth must translate itself into economic development, and that is when we are talking in terms of how the economic growth, the growth in money and all of that sort of a thing, helps in terms of the development of people.
Right.
How it goes into the society and helps people to develop in terms of making their lives even better, and so on. So, because that word development is key in terms of the bank.
Yes.
It's a development bank.
Definitely.
Now, what is the bank's organizational structure? I know I touched a little bit on it in the beginning, but what is the bank's organizational structure? It's hierarchy.
The structure is, well, like you said, rightfully, it falls under the Ministry of Finance, and then you have the Board of Directors, you have the CEO, and then you have top management, and you have other staff within the bank, right?
Okay, so that's the thing. Now, the bank has a number of departments within the bank itself. Now, could you tell me what these departments are and what they are responsible for?
We have the accounting unit, which of course would deal with the administrative part of the bank system. Then you have the
marketing unit.
Which is
myself. Yes, we have.
Apart from.
We have the loans department, the projects department, which deals with loans, processing, interviewing.
We have our business support unit that deals with all our business clients. We help them from the planning stages right through from the time until they get the loan. We also have credit risk unit that's comprised of our loan officers. They help you through the process of getting your loan. We have the delinquency.
We have the Nevis office, which does which does everything that happens at the SKNIS office, a bit of each of the departments.
Certainly.
And one other department that we cannot forget, of course, is what we call the loans management unit, which takes care of all the processing after the loan applications are approved, all those documents that are drafted, document instructions sent to the lawyers, all of that is done within that department.
Okay. Okay. Right. Now you're celebrating.
And of course, so we have the delinquency.
Yes, and human
resource
yes,
department.
The caring arm of the bank.
Yes. Without that, the bank is nothing really. That caring arm is so important. The human relations in any institution is really the heart of any institution, really. Now you're celebrating 40 years. What is the theme of this 40 years, and why did you choose this theme, and what are some of the key activities for your 40th anniversary?
Okay, so the theme this year is Committed to You, Dedicated to progress, DBSKN celebrates 40 years of success. We chose this theme because we wanted to combine our dedication to our clients, our partners, our stakeholders. Hence, we have the committed to you. As our name suggests, we are a development bank, so we believe in development and growth. So we are telling you that we are dedicated to progress. We are dedicated to the progression of the bank, the bank in its holistic sense. And that's the first part. And we are celebrating 40 years of success because over the 40 years we have managed to fulfill our mandate and our slogan, which is to provide that sustained positive difference in the lives of the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, so that is why we chose that theme, and that is why we're celebrating under that theme this year.
Now, what are some of the key activities?
Okay, so we already kicked off our activities actually. Last week we launched our DERP program, and DERP stands for Debt Evaluation and Restructuring Program. And what we're basically saying to our clients is, we understand that your financial situation may have changed. We understand, given COVID, you know, we may have went through some tough times, but you still have an obligation to the bank because the bank must progress. The operations has to go on. So we're telling you, if you have a loan with us and you're experiencing any difficulties, come in, talk to us, and let us see how best we can assist you in restructuring your agreements with us. So we launched that last week. We also had our opening church service where we went over to Nevis and we were truly blessed. We went to the Gingerland Seventh-day Adventist Church and we were blessed by under the theme "We Come to Worship." And that is something that, as we celebrate 40 years, that is something that we held dear to our heart, because without God we would not have, and our clients of course, we would not have reached this far. So we have a lot to give God thanks for. What's the name of the pastor?
Delroy Josiah.
Pastor, listen, he was amazing. He took into consideration the theme and what we represent, and he gave us a message that, you know, we could relate to. I wish you were there. After that, of course, you know, we had to kick back, so we visited the Hermitage Inn just for a little lunch brunch and just for a little relaxation to gear us up again for another week of celebration, another week of working to make that sustained positive difference in the lives of our clients. And we are here now on May 19 on Working for You to just let our clients know we appreciate you, let you know, remind you, jog your memory down memory lane about the bank and its history and so forth, and to let you know what we're celebrating, what it means to us, and to just show you a bit of gratitude and appreciation. After that, this coming Saturday, of course, you know, we said that we make a sustained positive difference in your life. We also do it in the health department, because this Saturday we are gonna have our health walk, and it is dubbed the Iron Man Walk. And let me tell you why it is called the Iron Man Walk, because it's very long and tedious. We're gonna start from Silver Reef in Frigate Bay.
I suppose you mean Iron Woman too. We're trying to be exclusive here.
Generic.
We try to get away from that generic language, you know. We try to use inclusive language.
Listen, it's inclusive. It's inclusive.
Iron Man and Woman.
All inclusive.
All inclusive.
All inclusive. The Iron Everybody Walk.
Okay.
Yes. So we're gonna start from Silver Reef in Frigate Bay, and we're gonna go all the way over to the Sea Bridge. I'm telling you, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be an experience. If you're interested, of course, you can come along with us. We start 5:30 a.m. and that's this Saturday morning. And just so you know, May 22nd is our official anniversary day. So we are going to tap into our the health sector, and we are going to do a walk. Now after that, this is dear to my heart, we're gonna have something what we call Biz Fest. Now we are going to have it both in St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm gonna let Miss Pemberton talk about what's gonna go on in Nevis, but in St. Kitts we're gonna start with our Customer Appreciation Day, which will begin at 8 a.m. sharp. We have a prize for the first customer through the door, lots of prizes, lots of giveaways, but you gotta come early, you gotta come, you stay up to date with our social media, because some information may be asked, so some trivia questions may be asked, so you can win something. And then that's gonna go until 11 a.m. and then we're gonna go over to the square where we're gonna have BizFest. We're gonna have start with an opening ceremony where we get all the formalities, and then we're gonna have a celebration. What we're doing is basically just celebrating entrepreneurship. We're telling our business clients we appreciate you. We know it's been tough, but you fought the fight, and you're here. So you know, we appreciate you. We're gonna celebrate celebrate with you. So come on down, see some of our business clients, what they have to offer. They have a chance to sell and to showcase their products and services. Ms. Pemberton, you can take over now.
So in Nevis, both events are going to be at the same location in our parking lot. So our customer appreciation starts at 8 a.m. The official opening ceremony for our business fest begins at 9. The business fest is from 9 to 3. After the opening ceremony, the business fest will commence immediately. So I'm inviting all to come on out and patronize our business customers who will be selling and displaying their products. There'll be lots of giveaways, so come on out and support.
Nice. Okay. And I know I've mentioned a lot about our clients, but of course we could not have made this milestone without our staff. So we're gonna end off our celebration with a staff award celebration. Yeah. So.
Okay. Now, you are not a commercial bank. You are a development bank. Now, Ms. Irish, what is the difference between the development bank and commercial banks?
Well, the development bank, the mandate is basically to lend to small and medium-sized businesses. And we more focus on assisting individuals who would not normally get financing from the other commercial banks because of the point system and that sort of stuff. And so the difference between us and them is that we more focus or cater towards those people in the lower strata who may not be able to access the financing so that their dream can be made a reality.
Right.
So that is basically where the development, because your overall goal, mission, mandate is that of development,
right?
And basically human development,
right?
Social education, and sustainable development, yes, of course, right, as well, and economic development. Right. Those three development pillars, basically. Now, how have you been involved in the development of people in St. Kitts and Nevis? What are some of the areas that you would have invested in as some of the key areas of development of the society?
We would have invested in we have the mortgage sector, of course, and over the 40 years, during the 40 years, we would have launched several lending facilities in that we would have received various funding, and one of them would have been what we call the GEM, which was the Government Empowerment Program, and this was initiated to provide home ownership to individuals of the low strata. And I mean, each applicant was offered $300,000 at an interest rate of 5%. Then, of course, we had the fresh mortgage. And that program, we had 2 phases. It was phase 1 and phase 2. And it was initially initiated to promote the realization of economic empowerment through subsidizing housing in the Federation. And there, each applicant initially, well, they would have received $500,000, but initially it was at 6%, and at the second phase it was launched at 5%. Then, of course, sometime back we had HELP, which is the Housing Enhancement Loan Program, And that was initiated to provide funding to individuals who needed to renovate or remodel their homes. And those applicants, we offered 100,000, at an interest rate of 5%. And then we had the Fresh Start program, which is in relation to the businesses, and that was to assist or promote creation in the area of manufacturing, retail, equipment, and medium-sized businesses within the federation. Applicants here was offered $100,000, and again the interest rate was 5%. We had the SIDF funding. We had the SIDF funding, which is the Sugar Industry Diversification Fund, and that was initiated to diversify the national economy and maintain economic stability, and to finance new and existing industries as we transition from the sugar industry right after it closed. As
we all know how COVID has impacted the tourism industry, and we understand the importance of the agriculture sector, the Development Bank has partnered with the Agriculture Department by providing funding for farmers and fishermen a number of times. We provided the SIDF Agriculture Fund of $25,000 at 0%. We also provided agriculture grants in 2017 during the 2 hurricanes, Irma and Maria, to get fishermen and farmers back on their feet. About 200 persons benefited. We would have also provided loans to the tune of $1 million for farmers and fishermen at 5%.
We also tapped into the Small Hotel and Restaurant Modernization Fund, and that was initiated to provide small hotels and restaurants with funding if they were interested in remodeling their business. We offered each applicant about $1.5 million at 3% interest rate. We also had the fresh to ease, and that was the fund realization of economic empowerment through subsidized housing, and that was in 2 phases, and we gave each applicant 500,000 EC at 5% interest rate. So we've done a plethora of financing for various sectors.
Yeah.
So part of your operations, let me put it that way, is that you offer loans at low interest.
Yes.
Yes.
And at a lower interest than the commercial banks. Is that so? Not really.
Not really.
We are not in a competition with when it comes to interest rates. Point blank. We that is not our league. We're not there. When it comes, we can't speak to interest rates because sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. It all depends on the fund. This was a
source, right?
Right.
Right.
If it's acquired at low interest rate, then we can on lend.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Understand. Now you mentioned, Miss Irish, a very important term, that of empowerment. And empowerment basically is a basic ingredient of development.
Right.
We really cannot have development without empowerment. They go hand in hand.
Right.
And in empowering people, we are developing them.
Right.
And in developing people, we are empowering them.
Right.
So I know that the bank offers student loans. Could you speak a little bit about that? Because in our development paradigm, education plays a big part. Education is about liberation. It's about human freedom. It's about, how people can become independent and to fend for themselves. It's about equipping people with knowledge and skills so that they can get a job and they can think and better understand the world and all of that sort of a thing. You know, so that they can get out of poverty, free themselves of all these encumbrances of, you know, of life and so on. Poverty, a narrow outlook, minimal aspirations, and things like that. So tell us a little bit in terms of how the Development Bank has invested in education.
Well, like we said previously, because one of the portfolios, I don't know if we missed it, is the student loan portfolio, where we grant financing to students. And when I say students, it's not just persons who maybe live in the fifth form or the CFBC, right? It could be individuals who may have left school already and want to further their education. We have what I know as what we call night classes, right, where you...
Adult and continuing education.
Right, education. And so it's not just for school leavers or the CFBC, and right, it's for the continuing education. And so we encourage persons to come in, and we grant loans for that purpose. So what I'm saying is, it's not just going overseas.
It's education on a whole. It can be done here.
On a whole, it can be done here. It can be done online.
It can be
overseas. Right, but it's for everyone, for their educational development. Right, so it's not just, and I say that because I think at times persons think that it's just for the CFBC, or maybe the person who have 7 and 11 subjects. It's not like that. Because I could recall, well, let me use myself as an instance.
Yes.
You come out of school with little subjects, and so I was able, as an individual, to benefit from Development Bank student loan funding, right? And so I was able to continue and develop my own personal education. Right? And so the funding, yes, we give the student loans. I mean, that's how we assist the students. And even now, what we have, and I remind the public, is the COVID relief. We have where we grant students up to $10,000 US at an interest rate of 3%. And this is because of the whole COVID, the COVID-19 pandemic. So we're actually assisting in that area as well. We're making it easy. It's an easy access, and they don't have to go through the usual application process. You can actually download the application, fill in the information, scan it back into us, we look at it, and like I said, the process is not like the normal student loan process. So we have been helping and developing our people in that area through the granting of the student loans.
Yeah,
we have done quite a lot in that area. We started back in the 90s giving 20,000 US,
right.
and now it's at 57,000 US with an additional 10,000 for the final year. Also, in terms of security for the student loans, we accept guarantors, which most of the other institutions would want real estate, which is very hard to come by.
Right. So it's easily accessible.
Yeah.
Now the bank is wholly owned by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, but it is fully autonomous and operates independently. Explain that for me.
Yes, we one wholly owned by government, but it is autonomous in that we operate by the board of the directors. We have a board of directors, we have the CEO, and we have dedicated staff members. So the decisions, yes, although owned by government, is done within that confine still.
Right. Now how the bank invests in terms of in what areas to give loans and areas of the society that is in need of development and so on. Does the government have any part to play in terms of making that decision? For example, the bank, does the bank align itself with the development paradigm of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, yes, because as we indicated before, some of our fundings, the GEM, you had the SIDF, right, those are funds, monies that would have been injected into the bank by the government so that we can on-lend it.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So the government injects money into the bank.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
But it doesn't inject all of the money into the bank.
No,
we have
tell
our
me.
own.
Okay.
So tell me about that.
Of course, we have to show appreciation to our partners, of course, from whom we have derived much strength, namely the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, as we just mentioned, the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board, Petro-Carib, the Caribbean Development Bank, yes, and the European
Development Fund,
right, and the European Investment Bank. So they have partnered with us over the years, and thus allowing us to be able to finance our clients and aid with the economic development of the Federation.
Okay, so it is not just the government. There are other partners that definitely invest in the bank so that you can carry out your mandate.
Right, yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, in terms of financial literacy of your clients, you know, people always need a little help in that area. So how are you involved in the financial literacy of your clients?
Well, we have what we call the business support unit, and that unit, one of the things they do, we have consultants who would actually help persons prepare their business plan. If they have issues in the area of marketing, or if they would need advice, we have consultants who would assist them in that area. That department, that unit, they do workshops. They normally have workshops. They are active in field visits, and on those field visits they go, they find out the issues with the business, how the operation is going, if there's any issues, if they have financial issues, then where they are unable to maintain the regular monthly payments, then that's where the DUB come in, or they go to those units. We look at and give consideration to restructuring those loans so that we can restructure them so that we give the person a more a better opportunity of a lower payment. Right. So the business support unit, it is really active, and they are out there, and out there more so now during the COVID than before.
Okay, so the support. The support that you provide is not just necessarily financial.
Right.
Right. Because people may start businesses. You've had a number of programs, the Fresh Start program and others. And people getting involved in entrepreneurship.
Right.
Making entrepreneurs. Helping people basically to help themselves. Which is a key part of development, actually, being able to help yourself. So supporting them, ensuring that their businesses are flourishing, and so on, is an important part of the bank's mandate as well. And you do that through the business support,
business support
unit. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your mandate is that of development, and that your investment is actually truly going into helping people to develop. So what are some of the yardstick that you use, for example, to evaluate how the bank is doing in terms of its investment in development? You understand the question?
Can you repeat, please?
How does the bank go about evaluating its work in terms of that, of development of the people? How does it go about doing that? What assessment tools do you have in terms of doing that?
Well, the success stories of clients is one of the ways that we can assess our investments. Also, developments in the communities, especially, well, we had some fundings geared towards youths and women. So I think these are some of the areas that we can measure how the bank has impacted.
But apart from that, when we look at the various portfolios, because we represent approximately 20% of the total non-government lending portfolio in the Federation. I mean, we have a total portfolio of about 410 million, right? In terms of residential mortgages, we represent about 1/3 of the Federation residential housing. And so, to speak about the student loans, the student with 90% of the total student loan market within the Federation, Development Bank loan product can be considered to be reasonably exist near monopoly because it's 90%, which means if you were to consider it for every 10 young persons you see going down the road, I mean 9 of them would have received funding from Development Bank.
So these are really the, that is the question, that is what I was asking. These are really the success stories, really, of the bank. So therefore people can really see, the work that the bank is doing in the society. Because the bank is a key pillar of development within St. Kitts and Nevis, in the Federation.
And then in the small business sector, that's about 89%. And that is dominated by our presence, the presence of the Development Bank. Since the traditional bank normally would shy away from this sector. Right? So, I mean, the numbers.
Okay, we are going to take a we are going to take a break, and we are going to go to one of the videos of Development Bank in showing how they have been helping the business community.
Hi, my name is Kenrick Simmons, and I'm the owner of Oceans Beach Bar Lounge and Aqua Park, located on the Frigate Bay Strip. Development Bank, if you're a young entrepreneur looking and you have a good business idea, give Development Bank a try.
I'm Gertrude Wilkes, co-owner with my husband John Wilkes of Buddies Beach. I just want to give a big shout out to Development Bank for helping us during this time of pandemic.
My name is Troy Hendrickson, owner of Vibes Beach Bar. We'd just like to let everybody know how great a corporate citizen the Development Bank of St. Kitts Nevis has been with us, especially as we endure this COVID-19 period. Kudos to the Development Bank.
My name is Pauline. I'm the co-owner of Serendipity Restaurant in Falklands, Bastia. We're here to say a thank you to Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. They were the first financial
especially at this very difficult time. The COVID-19 pandemic has almost brought the world to its knees. And, we have never experienced anything like that in our lifetime that has affected the world in such an immense way, especially the local and the global economy. Just a microscopic organism, we can't even see it, and the entire world has been affected by it, especially as people's money, the economy, and so on. And the Development Bank has been helping in a tremendous way, understanding the reality in which we live, has been helping businesses to stay afloat. So that is what we just saw. Now, in terms of the finances of the bank and the accountability with the finances of the bank, who oversees all of that?
The finances, well, like I said, we fall under the Ministry of Finance, so it would be, well, more top management, I must say, which is the CEO. The Ministry of Finance, of course, the CEO, and the Board of Directors.
Mm-hmm. Right, so there's an annual report, financial report.
That would normally...
Yes.
Right. In terms of, how the bank is doing financially, what are some of the areas in which the bank has invested, and how much it has invested, and so on.
Right, yes. That's correct.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good. Now, the small business, well, the Caribbean Development Fund, did you mention that?
Yes. When we were bigging up our partners, yes, we did.
And the Small Business Fund.
Oh yes, that's current. That's new and current. Mrs. Irish would have mentioned that we are basically, we have this fund in place in support of small and medium-sized businesses who have been affected by COVID, where each applicant can get up to 100,000 at a 5% interest rate. Right, it's ongoing right now, because we said that we aim to make a sustained positive difference in the lives of our clients. So we must have continued to help them even during this tough economic period.
Right. And that is initiated to assist them in to provide them with financial support to improve and to help them maintain the capacity of their operations, and it is for any business individual who is experiencing temporary liquidity challenges right now because of the COVID pandemic. So it's 100,000, 5%.
Okay.
Right, and of course the student, don't forget the student.
Oh yes.
Where we mentioned that we have the package for them, the 10,000 US at 3%.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Now, how has the bank been? I know you speak about all of this investment in this area and people getting loans and so on. But how has the bank been a good corporate citizen over these 40 years? What has its relationship with the community been like?
We have a very strong relationship with the community, actually. We pride ourselves in donating to cultural organizations, women organizations, youth and school sports clubs, basketball, cricket, you name it, education, and any community projects. If I may add, we spend about roughly over 400,000 in sponsorships annually to date. So we have been investing in the community as well. So it's not just all about loans. We see that there are some organizations who want to help to build the economy, to develop the community. So we are heavy on community building, and we do sponsor or donate towards those causes.
Right. So the bank is not really, as the commercial banks, so much into the profit making, is it?
Oh no, we're not here to make a profit.
Explain a little bit of that for me, because I mean you're giving loans, but at the very same time you have interest on those loans, so you're going to get back more than you gave out, and so on. So tell me.
So yes, we get back interest, but we then use it again to provide funding for different type of loans, businesses and stuff like that. Because
educational development,
and community development, so that we can provide access to home ownership, access to business ownership, and stuff like that. That's what we are here for, really. So no, we don't make a profit, and that's from the beginning of time when we started our our pioneers, that was something that they had mentioned as well.
Right.
And as we would have indicated before, originally the making a profit was never the bank's focus,
right.
but to instead provide funding to the lower sector strata
Right.
who would have had issues accessing monies from the commercial banks. Right, so it's not about the profit.
It's not about the profit. So, but whatever you make goes back into the community. Okay, we are going to take another break, and we are going to have a look at another area in which the bank has been assisting.
My name is Pauline. I'm the co-owner of Serendipity Restaurant in Falklands, Bastia. We're here to say a thank you to Development Bank of St Kitts and Nevis. They were the first financial institution that assisted us in our opening 17 years ago.
I am Michael Clark, the owner of Jamrock Restaurant located in Frigate Bay. With the inception of COVID up to this time, again, they had reached out and stood up behind me. I can't explain it in words how grateful and thankful I am to Development Bank.
Has been hit very hard by this pandemic.
Right.
Of course, we are a tourism-based economy. And what you're doing in terms of helping people in the tourism sector to stay afloat is extremely important.
Right.
It's one of the key areas that you have been involved in terms of the development and empowering of people. Another one you mentioned, of course, is the agricultural sector. And of course, feeding ourselves is very important, and we see that especially with this pandemic, because we import so much food from outside, and the pandemic has affected shipping and all of that sort of a thing. That is why people were wondering, are we going to have enough food? Because we are not self-sufficient. You know, we import a lot. And so the pandemic has brought out this need, of course, that, you know, there probably can be greater focus on the agricultural sector. You know, and farmers do need the help, and you have been assisting farmers. Now, agro processing and all of that, are you involved in that as well?
Yes.
How?
Anything agriculture.
Anything agricultural.
Yes.
So, tell me, if somebody needs some help, someone needs a loan, what is the process? What do they have to go through? How do they go about it? Because somebody might be listening and say, well, I need some help from the Development Bank. How do I go about getting that help? Could you walk me through?
Okay. The loan process, the customer comes in or calls, they will be given the requirements of the loan, which is 2 IDs, proof of address. If it's a business license, business plan, which includes cash flow and other financial statements. They're going to need invoices for whatever they're going to buy. If they're going to buy stuff, if they're going to buy land, they would need the offer of sale from the landowner. in terms of land, I just want to put in a plug here that we, for evaluation of land, we have our own evaluation officers in-house. So this is one of the unique service that the Development Bank of St. Kitts provides that most of the commercial banks do not provide. Okay, once the client comes in, the officer sits with the customer and see how best we can assist. If it's a case where the facility does not seem to be affordable, then we would work with the customer to give them something that they can afford, whether reduce the amount. Then once the application is processed, then it goes further on for consideration.
Ms. Irish, it seems you wanted to say something there. You're the operations manager.
No, I think she
covered
it.
She would have covered everything, right. So basically when you have these programs and so on, you put it out there into the community.
Yes, we do.
So that
just
people,
like the reminder we are doing now.
The marketing, your marketing.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you market your programs, Chantel. Because you are the marketing and product development officer.
Yes. Well, the way, the traditional way the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis marketed, because we went commercial, we realized that we never used to be heavily in the eyes of the public, because as soon as the Prime Minister mentions any funding, the influx of people come into the bank. So by the time we're ready to put out anything, it's the funding has been used up, right, depleted. So, but for now, what we want to do is to push out our image, let our clients and the public know more of what we stand for, our mandate, what we represent, because they already understand that we provide finance, but I want them to understand what we mean when we say we make a sustained positive difference in their lives. So by doing that, we're using the business support unit to approach our business clients. We're using DERP, we're using our different programs, we're using testimonials from our clients so that they can tell us, since it's been 40 years, how have we impacted your life. So that is, in a nutshell, the basic strategy that the marketing unit is using to market to the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. They know what we offer, so tell us, what do we mean to you? Because without you, without our loyal customers, without their loyalty and patronage, we would not have been here. Without our partners, we would not have been here. So let us know to what extent we have impacted you, whether it be through education, whether it be through home ownership, whether it be through business ownership, whether it be through community building. Let us know. So that's the strategy we are undertaking right now. Right. Because as we enter our 40th, we want to take on a new paradigm of banking. We want to move to a technological sense, become more technological, move to the digital realm, and also, so in order for us to do all that, we have to get feedback from our clients as to what impact, how are we, where do we stand in your eyes, right?
Right, and so the feedback, you mentioned the feedback. What channels do you have for feedback?
Well, of course we have our social media pages. We have our Facebook, and that's Development Bank SKN. If you're not following us, please follow. We have Instagram, Development Bank SKN. We have Twitter, Development Bank SKN. We have our YouTube channel, the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. We call, of course, and we do person-to-person interaction. So it's a plethora of channels that we are able to get feedback from. Right.
I like the fact that you mentioned, Chantel, that marketing, because sometimes that is how marketing is seen, is just that you are just marketing programs.
Right.
And that is it. But the very fact that you went further and to say, well, marketing has to do with much more than putting out there some business idea or some program, but marketing basically has to do with one's approach to people,
right,
and how people see the institution,
right,
and whether the institution is really having, impact in terms of their lives and all of that sort of a thing.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the objective of marketing is not just to sell an idea or to sell a program, but it's really to help people see how the institution is impacting their lives in a positive way.
Right.
Because that is a great
a sustained
positive way, because that basically is how things are marketed. Because when people then speak well of the bank, and when people say, well, look, the bank has done this for me and has impacted me in such a positive way, that is the biggest marketing tool that you can have, because then other people then are going to want to come to the bank. It's just like tourism. You know, the best marketing tool for tourism is really word of mouth. You know, people come to St. Kitts and Nevis and they saw the people were so friendly. You know, we had such a wonderful experience. You know, and so on, and they go back and they tell their friends and they tell their family, and then other people would want to come. So that is the positive image that you're putting out there of the bank.
Definitely. Definitely.
Right.
So, we don't want our clients to just see us. We want them to feel us. We want your feedback. We're here. We're not just a bank, but we are a partner in achieving your dreams. And this is something that we want our clients to not just read, but to internalize, to believe that Development Bank is here for you.
Right. Now we are going to go to the phone lines and to see what people have to say. The numbers to call are 1718-577-2916. That's the overseas number. I repeat it, 1718-577-2916. And the local number is 465-2555. That is 465-2555. We await your calls. There is no call as yet. Right. Now, in terms of over those 40 years and all that you would have done to bring development to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis through loans and all of that sort of a thing, what really have been, you've had a lot of successes, but what have been some of the challenges, Miss Irish?
One of the challenge is that for one, I must say this, some persons still may not know where Development Bank is. And so it is an opportunity now, and I say we are located on the corner of Church and Central Street.
Last year, that's in
right.
And Chapel Street, Charlestown, Nevis.
And to be more exact, we're on the opposite side of the Treasury, the government treasury, or on the opposite side of government headquarters.
Okay. We're going to come back, but we have a caller. Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, President, good afternoon. I am Anthony Williams, number 20, Beverly Hills, Sandy Point. I got my house through Development Bank, and I have to get a card to them. And I will encourage anybody to go to Development Bank because they is one of the best institutions. You understand? I could keep to that. All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, so you got some kudos there from Mr. Williams. So we're back to challenges. I mean, you mentioned the location. A lot of people don't know where you're located.
I still don't
That
know.
is a very small, well, that's a big challenge, I suppose, according to how you're putting it.
Right, some persons still don't know. And one of the challenge that we have that I must mention is that the clients seem, I don't know, I guess maybe, well, now we are out there, they know that they can come in. Because one of our challenge was that our clients sometimes seem to be maybe afraid if they're having issues, if they're having challenges. I mean, you extend a loan, and yes, it's possible that sometimes things just not going, especially in the business sector, how you would expect it to.
Right.
Right now, when the client does not come in and say anything, and then you see there's a bit of delinquency, then it becomes an issue. And so we don't want that to be the case anymore. If you are experiencing challenges, if you have issues, we want you to come in and not just wait until it actually happens, but to come in and say something, because we do assist.
Right.
There's the DERP, right? We can look, go over your finances. We take a second look at it. We could restructure it to accommodate payments that are affordable to you.
Right. We have another caller. Working for you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm just calling to ask if the loan for the agriculture business, if what's happening to it. Because why I'm asking, my son have dealing with that sector of his life.
Could you turn down your radio? We're getting a feedback. Turn your radio down for me, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes, that's better.
Okay. My son have dealings with the agricultural loan issue. And so what I'm hearing him saying is that his money is coming out, insurance is coming out for the loan, and he's paying for the loan, and he ain't getting it yet. So I like to know what side of business is that. Well, is to go into that.
He's paying for a loan and he hasn't got the loan as yet. That's what she said.
Did you say he's paying for a loan?
Insurance is yes.
Insurance is coming out of the
for the loan, towards the loan, and he ain't get it yet.
Oh, he hasn't gotten the loan
So
yet.
the loan has not been approved as
The loan has not been approved as yet.
How he paying for it and he ain't approved it? That's the other question I want to ask.
Trying to understand the question.
How is he? He paying for him.
Ma'am, is it that you're saying that, is it that the loan was approved or it has not been approved as yet?
As far as I got it from him, he said he went into the bank, and because the person who did the business plan for him asked him if he get through with the loan yet. He tell him no. He asked him, how could you not get through it? And I did the business plan for you, and I get paid for it already. And he tell the person who do it that he can't understand it either, because money is coming out for the loan and he ain't getting a loan yet. He went and he asked him, and he said, so, he didn't tell me no name. Somebody tell him the loan approved, but only that the manager or whatever is to sign a paper, and up to now no paper signed, but money is still coming out and he hasn't no loan yet.
What I would recommend, because you said that he's paying for it already, if he's paying for it, I mean a decision was made on that loan already, which means it was approved. And so what I would encourage him to do is call into the bank, and so that
he called and he was in there, and somebody tell him he must make another appointment to see Mr. Harry. And when he go, every time he comes, the person is telling, oh, Mr. Harris isn't in office. So he's getting frustrated because the money is coming out and he ain't getting a loan yet. Okay. That is what I understand from him.
Okay, I apologize for that. But what I would tell you, ask him to come into the bank. He can ask for me personally, ask for Mrs. Irish. I would look into his matter, and I would relay whatever information to him.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you much for your call. Is there anything, we have another call. Is there anything that you would like to respond to? Somebody asked about the agriculture.
The agriculture loans are ongoing, so they just need to call the office to make an appointment to see one of the officers.
And could you state a little bit in terms of the specifics again about the agriculture, because you said you had something special in that area for the public.
Currently, we have agriculture loans under our Caribbean Development Fund with a maximum amount of 300,000 US at 7.5%.
Oh, the CARICOM funds.
Yeah. And as Mrs. Irish just mentioned, the 100,000
at 5%. Right.
Okay, so people can access a loan of 100,000 at 5% interest rate.
Right.
For agriculture.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Working for you, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, sir.
And good afternoon to the good officers there from Development Bank.
Good afternoon.
Well, I had an opportunity to pay a loan to Development Bank with a project house back in the 90s. And he worked well with me, to be truthful. The time they was done by the yard was done by the Church Street.
Yeah.
Yes. And what my question to you all, if Development Bank don't deal with shareholders, why they don't commercialize?
Wait.
Okay, let me continue. It's just a government institution that they just do business like if you're going to build a house. Okay, what is strength and Development Bank, how we start? I want to know the strength of the body, how we start. If it's a government put money into it, and they just try to give loan with like ordinary farmers and ordinary people who want to build a house or what. You know, I just want to know how this strength of the body, how we start. If it's a government institution just start by just the ordinary man in the Federation of Think It Need It. And why not commercialize? All right then.
Okay, thank you so much for your call.
It's a government initiative started with the main purpose of providing funding to micro, small and medium enterprises. And over time, we would have extended our services to mortgages, student loans, personal development.
Yeah.
If we want commercial.
Yeah, he basically, you started in terms of the SMEs, lending assistance to SMEs and so on. But then he asked another question, which is really what I had asked earlier, was because you are not a commercial bank.
Right.
You're a development bank. But he's asking another question, why is the development bank commercialized?
We wouldn't want to go fully commercialized. We started offering some services such as personal loans that commercial banks offer, but going fully commercial would move us away from our initial purpose.
Right.
Because the commercial banks, the ECCB regulates them and all that, and there are certain requirements that would have to be met.
So Development Bank is not regulated by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank.
No. Plus, if we were to move away and go to the commercial sector, then I mean, what would happen to those persons who cannot access funds that would normally be lent by the commercial banks?
Yes.
And so we try to stay within our mandate, which is to accommodate or provide funds to persons of the middle and low income bracket. And so we wouldn't really want to go.
I asked a question earlier because you're offering loans to persons in the middle and lower income bracket.
Right.
However, that question I asked when I spoke about the interest rate, you said it is not necessarily lower to the commercial banks.
No.
So how do the two actually sync?
Right, but
our requirements are more easily met.
Right.
In terms of security, and we offer 100% financing in most cases.
And that is, I mean, you can't go to a commercial bank, I don't think, and get 100% financing to purchase land and still construct property, whereas the development bank would give you funding 100% for purchase
both.
of land and for new construction.
Yes.
Right, that is not normally seen in the commercial banks. In addition to that, I mean, with development bank, you could actually, you have a student loan, you have a mortgage loan.
Properties, right.
You could actually combine those and still be able to get a personal loan with it, and we make all of that. We try to make all of that affordable to you.
Right.
You don't normally see those things happening in the commercial bank.
Okay, we have a caller. Working for you, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask a question. I took out a student loan about over 8 years ago. I have already paid off interest, and I'm supposed to be paying for the loan now. But I find out you're adding on interest every day. What is it? How you add on interest every day if you have already paid off the interest?
Interest is never paid off until the loan is completed. When you make your payment, it is split in two. Some goes to the principal, some goes to interest. As the loan gets older, more money goes to the principal and less to the interest.
Yeah, but if every day you add on interest?
No, as long as there is a principal balance, you would be required to pay interest on it, because interest is on whatever principal balance or the amount. When I say principal, the amount that you would have borrowed from the bank. Now, when you say interest go on every day, what I try to say to the clients, yes, interest go on every day, but the same interest, if you want to calculate it daily, it is the same as if you say is a certain figure monthly. So it's just that we break it down for the clients. So the interest per month is this amount, or if you need to know your interest on a daily basis, this is what it is.
Yeah, but so that does have nothing to do with the interest you paid off already. So if say you take a loan of 50,000, interest of 25,000, you have already paid off that 25,000. That has nothing to do with the interest now that is adding on.
But you cannot really pay interest. Okay, for example, you have a loan of 50,000.
Yeah.
Your interest today is say $10. I'm just using figures.
Yeah.
Right? You can't come in and say you're paying 25,000 to the interest, because then the interest is only $10. And so what you would do when you come in with that 25,000, you pay $10 will go towards the interest, and the difference is what will go to the principal balance, which is the amount that you actually borrowed from the bank.
Oh,
so you can't really say that you would have paid off interest up front.
It wasn't, said that way. Just tell you finished with you finished paid off the interest, so you're paying your loan now. That's what was said to me.
No.
That was a misunderstanding.
No, that wasn't me, and we apologize for that. Right.
Miscommunication.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy that was clarified. Right. What is the interest on student loans? How much interest?
6%.
It is 6%.
Right.
Okay.
Used to be 9%, it is now down to 6%. And that was a decision of the board recently, as recent as last year. Right. So it's dropped from 9% to 6%.
But that is for new.
That is for new students.
For new students.
Right, not existing.
Right.
So it's
so the existing students will have the 9%.
Right. Originally it was 9% over a 10-year period. Now it is 6% over a 15-year period.
Okay.
Right.
We have another caller. Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon.
I want to ask this question. I was in discussion with a few folks a couple of weeks ago, and this controversial matter has always been brewing in terms of step workers. What is the position with step workers? I know when we had that discussion, I called a few commercial banks. This is the development bank. I called a few commercial banks, and one commercial bank said to me, well, persons who, they do give loan to step workers, but that don't give more than $4,000 to step walk. Well, lend, sorry, I'm using the word give. They don't lend more than $4,000 to step walkers. Now, in terms of the development bank, like if a farmer who doing farming on the part-time or whatever the case is, or somebody want to take a student loan for their child/children, what is the position when it comes to step workers in terms of borrowing? I'll listen up there.
Okay, thank you very much for your question.
I think there must have been some, well, the information is inaccurate in that we don't, anybody comes in for a loan, there is not a cap, and so I don't know, that information is just inaccurate.
It's just the income ratio that we
look at based on, and we lend based on the affordability.
Right.
So I don't know if it might have been a case where the person wanted more, but when they sat before the officer, they indicated to them, well, based on your income, this is what we could really afford to lend you. Right.
I understand his question to be something other than that, because step workers have had difficulty getting loans from the commercial banks. They do not. So therefore, that's where development bank comes in.
Right.
But I'm happy that you make that. I'm happy that you are making that clarification.
Right. We do lend to step workers. Right. So there is no. We do lend to them.
You do lend to step workers.
Right.
I'm happy that you're saying that, because I've had people come to me and say, Mr. Williams, because I'm on step, I cannot get a loan.
Not so with development bank.
Good. I'm happy that you've made that clarification. Seems as though we have another caller. Yeah. Working for you, good afternoon.
Well, Mr. Williams, thank you very much for clearing that up, right? Because I remember saying to one of the individual, I said, got to be all these must be going and want a ton of money, and I said, once you're on step, you're not going to get, this big. I mean, you can't be on step and want $30,000-$40,000 to borrow. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, and I exactly, I satisfied with the answer that you all gave, because that is one thing I pointed out. I said, probably maybe you must be renting for, a ton load of money. So thank you very much for, clearing up, that little.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to go to another video to show the work of the development bank.
There is an entrepreneur in all of us. They are the risk takers, the record breakers, the difference makers. Entrepreneurs are the ones who fuel our economy. They fuel job growth. They fuel technology, making St. Kitts and Nevis a much better place. And we have been there every step of the way, providing small business and personal development loans tailored to your significant needs. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life.
Size enterprises, and the bank is still fulfilling its mandate after 40 years of existence. Now, is there anything else that you would like to say before we leave? Because basically we are out of time.
Out of time, okay. All right, so first, let me say thank you to our partners, to our stakeholders. Thank you to our loyal clients once more for 40 years of loyalty and patronage. We want to encourage you to follow us on social media. That's Development Bank SKN on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube pages. We want to encourage you and invite you to our health walk this coming Saturday from 5:30 a.m. We meet at Silver Reef over at Frigate Bay, and also to invite you to come on out to our Biz Fest celebration, where we will celebrate entrepreneurship. That's next week, Friday. That's the 28th of May. We start at 8 a.m. at the bank in St. Kitts and over in Nevis as well. So we're inviting you to come out and celebrate entrepreneurship with us, and to remember that the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis cares. We are for you, we are for the people, and we pride ourselves in making a sustained positive difference in your life as it relates to home, providing access, remember that, to home ownership, business ownership, community building / development, and economic development. And of course, we pride ourselves in developing our human resource capacity. So thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in our offices for our Customer Appreciation Day / BizFest celebration.
And remember to visit our branch for the COVID-19 initiative, 100,000 at 5%.
Yes.
Right, Miss Irish.
And of course, we remind you that Development Bank is more than just a bank. We are your partners in achieving your dreams.
Amen.
Right, and I want to congratulate you, of course, on your 40th anniversary.
Thank you.
And to wish you all the best in terms of the activities that you will have. I know you've had some already and they've been successful, but going forward, those that you're going to have. And thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing with us in terms of the important work that the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, the work that the bank does. Yes. The work, the bank is a key pillar of development in St. Kitts and Nevis, of how it is really helping people. And I think that you were very, very clear in terms of the purpose of the bank, as opposed to the purpose of commercial banks, that you are there really to help the smaller man.
Right.
You know, the man with the lower and middle income, who's trying to get ahead in life.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and to make something of him or herself in life. And you did mention those, you know, the areas, the areas that are really key to the development of St. Kitts and Nevis that you have been assisting with. You mentioned housing, you mentioned agriculture, you mentioned education, community development, and so on. All of those things are important in terms of our human development, economic development, and sustainability, which I think you highlighted, Chantel. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Miss Irish, who is the operations manager, Jasmine Irish. Am I saying Miss or should I be saying Mrs.? Mrs. Jasmine Irish. Keep saying you're married. Chantel, you're not Mrs. yet. No. Chantel Rochester, Marketing and Product Development Officer, and our sister from the sister island of Nevis, Hyacinth Pemberton. Thank you so much to all of you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And thanks again for having us.
Right. You have been listening to another edition of Working for You. I ask you to support the Development Bank and the activities that it is yet to have in celebrating their 40th anniversary. Thank you to all of our listeners to today's program, and those of you who called in with your questions or commended the bank. We continue to appreciate you from week to week. Next week, we will be back with another edition of Working for You. Until then, I am Les Roy Williams. Take good care.